Friday afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Sanctified Rebellion Radio. I'm your host, Mike, coming at you live from the dungeon, aka my personal studio / home office in the basement of my home. This is the second go-around for this program tonight. I tried to get things kicked off about 10 minutes ago, got interrupted by my little one, and kind of panicked because I didn't know what I was going to do. Truth be told, that was not professional. What I need to do is roll with the punches. So, be warned, if one of my youngins comes down here, I'm just going to have a little chat with him. Right here, on the air. Get used to it, buddy. That's what happens when you start having kids. And when you have no lock on your basement door. Okay, how's everybody's Friday going so far? Mine is going very, very well. I cannot complain at all. The reason why I titled this podcast Changes is because, oh gosh, that was a horrible rendition of that song. David Bowie is probably crying right now. Anyway, there are a number of changes that are going to be taking place with this podcast. So that's what I kind of want to start talking about first. I'm actually going to be changing the format and the frequency with which I do this podcast. Right now, I was thinking of doing it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But some things have shifted in my life. And in light of those shifts, I have decided to take this podcast and cut it down to maybe 2 times a week or maybe even just 1 time a week. The reason for that is because I'm actually starting a second podcast that I feel is a bit more important than this one. And I want to do it 3 times a week. That podcast is going to be on politics. I know. I am just asking for problems here because I'm talking about religion, at least somewhat, not a whole lot, but somewhat on this podcast. And then I want to do one about politics too. It's just like I'm asking for trouble. But you know what? These are things that are important to me that I'm passionate about. And I've been having a paradigm shift in my political views. I have, in the past, identified myself as a diehard conservative. That is slowly starting to shift. Now, I'm not going liberal. No. I'm going the other way. I am starting to lean a whole lot toward the libertarian side. I'm starting to understand principles of freedom and limited government that I see now are inconsistent with the way that I viewed things as a conservative and somewhat from a Christian standpoint as well. You can be a Christian and still be a libertarian. That being said, I do not agree with every tenet of libertarianism. There are things that I disagree with. But for the most part, I think I feel comfortable identifying myself as a libertarian. I'm really heavily leaning that way. And that's been largely due to my own studies and my own thinking through of my worldview in light of what I believe religiously, but also with what I believe to be true about government. So this is kind of the direction that I'm moving. And I'm very passionate about the subject of America and maximum freedom and limited government. And so these are things that I want to talk about because I feel like I could provide a unique perspective because I'm not your typical political person. I'm not an old dude who wears a suit. I'm not Glenn Beck. I'm not any of those guys. I come from a different background. You know, I love tattoos. I love punk rock music. I love... amongst many other styles. There's a whole lot of things that I like that make me unique comparative to a lot of other people in the field. And I just feel like I could reach a different demographic. But more than that, I want to share my journey toward libertarianism and just enlightenment in general about what I see politically in America with other people. I want to share that because I think that we could, I could relate to other people and they could relate to me and we could connect. So I feel like that would be important. And so I wanted to do a podcast about that. And I wanted to have a platform to express my First Amendment views, my First Amendment rights, I mean. I want to share my views with others. I want to share my opinion. I want to have a platform to get my voice heard. So I want to use the podcast for that purpose. So I feel like I need to do this. I feel like there's a wide audience for it, and I feel like, I need to connect with like-minded people. And those who aren't like-minded, we can discuss these things and grow and help each other, in life. So I just really want to do that. So that's some of the changes that are coming out here. The problem is right now I have no idea what to call this podcast. None whatsoever. So I am just going to go with it and figure that out over the weekend. And the first podcast will be Monday. I haven't decided if it's going to be a half-hour thing or a full-hour program, divided into 2 segments. I haven't decided that yet either. It just depends on how much time I need to pour into to developing things because, I'm working full-time as a freelancer and I'm also building a business plus doing this. So my plate is full. So we'll just have to wait and see how things kind of fit together. Okay, now that those changes and those weird things are out of the way, I want to talk about something really awesome. Today I got my 10th tattoo, almost exactly 10 years after I got my first tattoo. And the tattoo that I got was a wedding ring tattoo today. Now, some people are like, oh my goodness, why would you do that? That's so horrible. What if you get divorced? My wife and I do not believe in divorce. Okay, we have made a promise to each other, and as a Christian, I've made a promise to God to be dedicated to her till death do we part for the rest of my life, no matter what. Neither one of us is abusive. Neither one of us is crazy. That could change over time. I don't know. One of us could get really bad sick or die or whatever. But even if, God forbid, one of us were to cheat on the other, we would not separate. Something would be done. We would get counseling, help, whatever. But we are dedicated to each other, so I don't foresee that being a problem. And as long as 2 people work constantly at investing in their own relationship, that shouldn't be an issue either. So I felt comfortable enough to get the tattoo. My wife has one. She got one first this time last year because she was constantly, when she was messing with the kids, she'd accidentally scratch them on the face and stuff because she had her wedding ring with the rock inlay and all that other good junk. So I decided to go ahead and do it. It also, to me, displays my commitment to my wife. It's one of the ways that I like to express myself is through tattooing. So I wanted to show my wife that I am absolutely committed to her. So I took the plunge and literally shed my blood for her. It's cheesy, but it's true. It also goes along with my motto, one and done. That's how I feel about marriage. One and done. That's it. One and done. She's my only one, and that'll be the last one. Till death do we part. It displays also my commitment to the path of entrepreneurship, because let's face it, not many places are going to hire me with a tattoo on my finger. They're just not going to go for it. So I decided long ago that I just cannot stand working for the man. I've tried it. I worked for insurance companies. I had white-collar jobs. Dude, it just ain't me. It just ain't me. Money's good, but first off, you have to sell out your soul and do a whole lot of crap that is not right to do. Some of it may even be illegal. And secondly, it just is just not my personality, man. I do not like being told when I have to be at work and everything else. I like making the rules. I have an entrepreneurial spirit. I am a smart dude. I know how to run a business now. I had to learn how to do that. I sucked real bad at first. But I've learned how to do that and make things differently now as far as leading in business matters. So this is like my way of saying this is it. This is the path I'm going down. Whether it's in this industry or whatever industry I decides to be the one that provides money for me, I'm not doing anything other than running a business. I'm getting all kinds of tongue-tied over here. That means I need to slow my brain down just a little bit. So yes, dedication to entrepreneurship. That's just the end of the story there. I also wanted to mention briefly something that I've not mentioned on any of these podcasts, I don't think, and I'm not sure why I haven't. Let me just get a drink of water here. And that would be, I have a YouTube channel. Sanctified Rebellion, one word. Capitalize on sanctified, capitalize the word R in rebellion. S in sanctified, R in rebellion. There we go. I started this channel at first to engage culture with the gospel and things like that, and that will inevitably happen because that's just my worldview and it comes through in my thoughts and whatnot. But really, the other reason that I've started to want to do that and have a YouTube channel is because I want to vlog my life. The reason I want to have my life on video is because I thought it would be cool to document my life as a small business owner who is going from basically broke and barely surviving to successful or even into failure, if that be the case. To show people that I truly believe in American free market, libertarian, conservative, constitutional, capitalist, free market principles. That's a mouthful. I believe that if I work hard and I apply these principles and the basic principles of business, I will be successful in being self-sufficient, self-governing. And that, I think, sets an example for my children, and it sets an example for people, whether they're religious or not. So I wanted to document what my life is like now, and then have a record of it daily through this whole process so that I can look back and say, wow, look how far I've come. And it's also a heck of a lot of fun. It's cool to be able to look back at a particular moment in life and remember what I did that day. You know, it's hard to remember and recall that thought in your brain. So having it on video is just one more way that I can remember the moment. I haven't been able to talk my wife and kids into getting on camera just yet. I do have a little bit of footage I'm putting in a vlog of my son getting a haircut because it was just too cute to pass up. But I'm hoping that over time they will, want to be on camera. Till then, I mean, I'm going to be vlogging where they're in the background and they're, having discussions and stuff with me, but you won't see them on camera. My kids from time to time may jump in there, I don't know. But my wife is kind of still not too into the idea of vlogging. So we'll see how that goes, that may change. But please check out the channel, okay? It's Sanctified Rebellion, one big word put together. S in sanctified is capitalized, R in rebellion is capitalized. There you go. Be sure to check it out and subscribe. It has been an interesting week for movie casting news and just all kinds of cool stuff. I know most of the news and stuff that I report on and that I talk about involving culture and things tends to fall toward the comic book movie side because I'm a huge comic book guy, but these are movies that are also huge in popular culture, so I feel like they're important to talk about, and they catch my attention and interesting to me, so they've got to be interesting to other people, right? But one of the first big news stories I want to talk about just came out today, and that's that Paul Bettany, I think I'd say his name, Bettany or Bettany, whatever. Paul Bettany has been cast as the character known as the Vision in Avengers Age of Ultron, the Avengers sequel due to come out in the summer of 2015. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is an example of great casting. Unlike that train wreck that is the Batman vs. Superman movie, Paul Bettany has done the voice of Jarvis, Iron Man's AI program that kind of helps him run the Iron Man suit. In all of the previous Marvel films, if I'm not mistaken, it's been Paul Bettany's voice as Jarvis. This is good stuff. Paul Bettany has been in a number of movies, and he is a fantastic actor. I think he is going to be fantastic in this role. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. With him already having been Jarvis, how they're going to transition that into the Vision. I don't know a whole lot about the Vision character from the comic books. I just know that he's an android who's developed AI, and he's sentient because of this, advancement he's made stuff. I don't know. I don't know that much about the character because the Avengers that I've been reading, as far as comic book wise, there hasn't been a whole lot of backstory. I haven't gotten to the original stories of the Vision to see where he comes from. But he's an interesting character from the comic books that I have read. And, he could turn himself invisible, I believe it is. He could pass through walls, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm not getting him confused with John Jones from DC. Sometimes I get these things mixed up in my head. Anyway, he's an awesome character. It's going to be great, and I think that Paul Bettany's going to just knock it out of the park. I'm telling you, Marvel knows what the crap they are doing. They just know what they're doing. I think that this Avengers sequel is going to be fantastic. I don't foresee DC coming close to touching the impact that Marvel has had on the box office and in culture anytime soon. I just think Marvel's got it locked down. They have a plan. Whoever is behind all of this specifically, whatever team is behind arranging all of this content, is a freaking genius. The way they have everything laid out flows so well together. And each movie they put out is quality work. It's entertaining, and it moves the story along, and it's all interconnected. And it's just, I don't know, it's this complex universe where every piece works together. It's so intricate. DC's not done anything like that. They're just a wreck, a mess. And I know it seems like I'm picking on DC, but that's because they have two of the biggest comic book character franchises in the history of cinema and comic books. Batman and Superman. You don't get bigger than those two. And they keep screwing it up. They did great with the Dark Knight trilogy, but now they're starting to drop the ball. They just relaunched a successful Superman with Henry Cavill and Man of Steel, and now they're just blowing it all up. So, that just makes me wonder what the heck is going on. And as if that wasn't enough, Paul Bettany being cast as the Vision, apparently Marvel is also looking to cast the role of Miss Marvel for the upcoming Age of Ultron movie as well. Miss Marvel's a huge character in the Marvel Universe, and those who read the comics know that's absolutely the truth. But this would also enable Marvel to beat out DC for having a big female superhero on the big screen. That's a big, big deal. Very big deal. There have been several opportunities that DC has had to try to bring Wonder Woman to the big screen in the last few years, and none of them have panned out. And that has been much to their detriment, no doubt. So, they're behind Marvel. Once again, falling behind. The rumor is that Miss Marvel is actually going to be making a cameo in the Captain America the Winter Soldier movie that's coming out here in April. So they're looking to cast this role and get it nailed down, because I do believe they're starting to shoot the second Avengers movie sometime in the next week or two. So that's exciting stuff, because that means here soon we'll start getting some pictures from the set, seeing what this is going to look like. I don't know if anyone is familiar also with the villain who's going to be in Avengers 2, but it's going to be Ultron, and he is the ultimate, at least I feel, one of the ultimate villains that the Avengers will face. And he is going to be voiced by Spader. I can't remember his first name. Dang it! I had it on a second ago. James Spader. I think that's what it is. He played the California dude from The Office. You'll know what I'm talking about. He's going to do the voice, and he's perfect for that. Again, an example of great casting. Now, we look at the genius of Marvel and the blunders that DC are making, and the crap storm just continues with the Man of Steel sequel. More Man of Steel sequel news came out this week that made me want to hurl in a bucket. Just straight hurl in a bucket. It was that bad. The movie, I swear, is just a train wreck. There are rumors going around that the new working title of the film is Man of Steel Fight or Flight. Wow. Just wow. Really? That's what you're going to call it? It's like a cheesy action movie title. It's like, that's what I expect a Die Hard movie to be titled. Or something with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I swear they're trying to sabotage their own movie. It's just incredible the amount of goofiness that's suddenly popping out on this. Now, I am hoping that all of this is just a big ruse to keep all of us and the media distracted while they're actually working on this brilliant piece of film that's going to catapult Man of Steel, Superman, and a new Batman and set the stage for the Justice League movie in a way that will just blow everything out of the water. That's what I'm hoping for, but I'm not sure. And ever since I found out that Christopher Nolan is no longer attached to the Man of Steel sequel, I'm starting to be like, was he the guy who was like reining in Zack Snyder's craziness? It seems like he has just gone off the wall nuts. And it just makes me wonder, does he need an executive producer there who, has some guts like Christopher Nolan does to kind of like rein him back in? I mean, what's going on? This thing is in total disarray. It's crazy stuff. I don't know. I mean, there was apparently a long list of titles that got leaked or released or something. And one of the ones that was top billing was Fight or Flight. I mean, it's like that. What does that have to do with the concept of this movie? I mean, I just don't get it. Oh, I just wish that I don't know. I complain a lot about the Man of Steel thing. There's still hope that the Man of Steel sequel will end up being a fantastic movie. Still lots of hope for it, But it's just not looking good. Well, we'll see, though. I mean, I could be way off. It could end up being a masterpiece. Who knows? Moving on. We're going to talk about something here that's going to make a lot of Christians upset. I am not a fan of Christian movies. Excuse me, I was taking a drink of water. I'm not a huge fan of Christian movies at all. And that would be my son crying in the background because he's done something he shouldn't have done. Gotta love children. There is a Son of God movie based off of the Bible movie that came out either last year or the year before. That comes out, I think, February 28th. I think it's the last of the month. It's basically just a re-edit from the Bible movie of the life of Jesus. Why are the movies that are made about Jesus so freaking cheesy? It's always some dang, wussy dude who's freaking ready to bust out his acoustic guitar and start singing just this rousing rendition of Kumbaya, my Lord, around the campfire. He's always feathered hair and over dramatic in his presentation. Oh, follow me, Peter. We're going to change the world. Like, what? First off, Jesus didn't have a British accent. I can guarantee you that. Second off, he didn't look like a Backstreet Boy who just walked off the set of a music video. So I don't understand why the crap can't somebody just do it right? Hire actors who have actual talent. This was horribly done the first time around, and this additional editing ain't going to help anything. It isn't going to make it any better. Change the actor. My goodness. Christian movies are so horrible. Yeah, they may have good moral messages in them and whatnot, but the acting is so terrible. The story writing is often so terrible that I can't get around it. I get distracted by I get distracted by the amount of suck that is present in the film. So it's like, when I heard that they were doing this cut, and then that it's coming out now to theaters, so it's like they want to charge someone money to watch this. I'm just like, come on, guys, this is part of the reason why everybody laughs at us. This is the part of the reason why we have no legitimate foot in popular culture. And we do have some, good things popping in popular culture, like the Duck Dynasty guys and stuff, but I mean, that's a rare case. It's just horrible. Yeah, I watched the movie, and that was the worst part for me. The Bible movie was the Jesus part, because that guy is so horrible of an actor. I just couldn't get around it. Now, that being said, I tell you what, I am really excited about both the Noah movie with Russell Crowe and Exodus with Christian Bale and everybody's favorite Jesse Pinkman. What is his daggone name? I'm so terrible with names today. Aaron Paul. That is going to be an excellent, excellent movie, both of those. Now, Noah is not at all 100% accurate to the biblical story, okay? It takes a lot of liberties, and it looks like a little bit of science fiction fantasy crap going on with it, but it still might be entertaining. So I'm down to watch it and check it out. Exodus stars Christian Bale as Moses and Aaron Paul as Joshua. That is going to be awesome. I'm excited about both movies. I know they're not going to be perfectly accurate. They may even stray way off at points, but that I can still appreciate the art, and I can still appreciate the storytelling and the reimagining, I guess, if you will. So I'm looking forward to that. This year's been termed the year of the Bible because of the Son of God movie, Noah, and Exodus. I don't think the Son of God movie should be thrown in that mix at all with the other two movies because it lacks quality, I guess you could say. So, I don't know. The other two look fantastic. I saw a really in-depth trailer for Noah during the Super Bowl, and it was really, really good. If you're going to a movie, now this is for Christians, if you're going to a movie expecting to see accurately the gospel of Jesus Christ preached in the movie, or the accuracy of a Bible story kept word for word to the narrative in the Bible, you're being very naive for two reasons. One, we all know Hollywood has been hostile towards Christianity for a long time. They don't want Christianity to be true, okay? So that right there tells you a lot. Secondly, it's more of an artistic thing. Most biblical stories, most anything that's written in some type of prose form doesn't just automatically translate to a script that you can put on the big screen. They are two separate and very, very different mediums, and they need some adaptation to work. The storytelling and pacing is much different in film than it is in book and other kinds of narrative. So don't go in expecting this stuff. Just learn to enjoy what is in front of you. And if it makes you that mad, just don't watch the dang thing. Don't spend all your time, complaining about it. Just don't watch it. If you do watch it, you got every right to critique it. But if you don't. Don't get yourself upset and waste your time. That's all I got for movie news for this week. I still got some television stuff that I want to talk about in part 2 and then some wrap-up things. So I am going to go take a water break here for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then I will be back with part 2 of today's podcast. All right, y'all, I'll be back.